Hello, guys. Welcome to more of my English Football League predictions and reviews. We talk about all manner of things from current things that are going on in the Football League right at this very moment and the Premier League. And we also, talking about transfers, separate teams. Obviously, when the season starts up, we do reviews of all the games over the four divisions and sometimes cover a bit of the conference as well. We go into in depth talking about different players. We talk about great seasons of the past for many great teams in the English Football League. Of course, that includes some of the Welsh teams. As we know, Cardiff, Swansea, and Newport are incorporated into the English leagues. But obviously, they're Welsh teams. So, what I'm going to do today is I'm going to do a rundown of it's a basic rundown. Stops people having to research. We're going to do some talking about certain facts and figures, teams, what they've achieved, how much times they've won particular trophies and leagues. We're going to start off with the Premier League. In the Premier League era, so far, um, still top, as we all probably know, is Manchester United. They've won 13 titles. Um, all of those were with Sir Alex Ferguson, as we know, who retired in 2013. Since then, Manchester United have only won three trophies. They've won the FA Cup, and the League Cup, and the Europa League as well. And that's the only three trophies they've won um, actually in 9 years. So that's pretty bad considering that they were a consistent team. Um, as we know, Manchester United, even though they've won the most Premier League titles, they're on quite on the poorest run, obviously, in their Premier League history. As we know, players have left, key players who maybe didn't meet up to their potential, but Matic has gone. Juan Mata's gone, obviously, a bit down to age, really, with those two guys. Pogba's gone back to Juventus. Um, to my money, he was overpaid. He wasn't worth what they were paying him. Overrated. Um, as we know, one of Man United's players, uh, well, used to be key player Lingard. He's gone to Forest on, I believe, 180,000 a week, or maybe 200,000. That's going to be over a 1 year contract. But anyway, went a bit off on a side track. Just going from who's won the most titles, but obviously where they're at now, Manchester United, they're not quite the force they used to be. They were sixth last season, in the 21-22 season. But we'll see where they end up anyway. So at the start of the 22-23 season, we'll see what happens. I predicted sixth for them, but we'll see where they end up. In second place, all time Premier League wins is Manchester City with six, having won the title last season in the 21-22 season, beating Liverpool to that title, literally by a point. Crazy. And then we've got Chelsea in third place with five Premier League wins. In fourth place, you've got Arsenal with three. And then it's Blackburn Rovers with one win, Leicester City with one win, and Liverpool with one win. So obviously, Man United, Chelsea, Manchester City dominating it. Manchester City more so in the last sort of 10 years of sort of coming to the picture. So within the last 10 years, looking at Manchester City, that they've won six Premier League titles, which is pretty impressive. Going into the Championship, um, leading the way, there's four teams. No, sorry, five teams that have won the Championship, and they've all won it twice. Newcastle United's won it twice. Norwich have won it twice. Reading have won it twice. Sunderland have won it twice, and Wolves have won it twice. And then there's many others that have won it once going after that. So obviously, Newcastle haven't won the Premier League, um, but they are one of the top teams, along with those other four teams, to have won the Championship. What's now the Championship? And then going into the original Division One, which is now the Premier League, that was one dominated by Liverpool, who won the title 18 times. Arsenal won it 10 times. Everton won it 9 times. Aston Villa 7. Manchester United 7 in the old format. Sunderland 6 times. Newcastle 4. Sheffield Wednesday 4. Huddersfield Town 3. Leeds 3. And Wolves 3. So a lot of good teams doing a lot of good things in the past. decent history. No surprise to see Leeds and other teams in there. Leeds' title wins, I believe, was in 60. Sorry, let me get it right. I think they 64, 74, and then 1991. So 92 even. Sorry, and that was the last. Leeds, in fact, won the last Division One title before it changed into the Premier League format. And obviously, we know the first winner of the Premier League was obviously Manchester United, who would go on to dominate with a few slip ups in Sir Alex Ferguson's time to Arsenal and Chelsea, who would challenge at different periods over that time as well. And of course, Blackburn in that one off season, 94-95, pipped Manchester United to the title. But yeah, as we know, Manchester United were the dominant force up until 2013. Now it's more a case of them trying to finish in the top four, as seen as some sort of success. So they've fallen a bit. We know the landscape is mainly dominated by Manchester City and Liverpool these days, with possible challenges coming through, by the looks of it, by Chelsea and Tottenham this season, who have already brought in players. Most notably for Chelsea, Koulibaly's come in from Napoli, very experienced defender. They're looking at getting in Koundé from Seville, and also looking at possibly getting hijacking Manchester United's move for Frankie de Jong, who's only an hour and about joining Manchester United. He'll get to work with his old boss that he worked with at Ajax, Ten Hag, but the only problem is that Manchester United do not look like a team that can win trophies, and realistically, a team like Manchester United at this particular time, and they can't keep living in the past and saying we're a great team all the time. Yeah, you're good for the history, but currently you're a poor team, and that's the reality of it. League Cup is the best you can hope for this year, and the possible crack at winning the Europa League. You've got to win one of those trophies, United. It's been too long. Mourinho was the last one to win trophies for you in 2016-17. Europa League and League Cup, I believe, or FA Cup. But yeah, League Cup, sorry. Yeah, you've got to pick it up this year, Manchester United. You've got to win at least one or two trophies. Liverpool, as we know, won two trophies last year, the FA Cup and the League Cup, beating Chelsea on penalties both times. And they narrowly missed out to Real Madrid in the European Champions League final. So, and as we know, in the Europa League, going on a bit more, but in the Europa League, it was Eintracht Frankfurt, the German team, who finished mid-table in the Bundesliga last year, who surprisingly went on to win that tournament, having knocked out West Ham in the semi-final. West Ham had a great run in the Europa League, and then obviously beating Glasgow Rangers on penalties. So Rangers had a good season. I mean, they lost out to Celtic, in the league, but that's pretty much, it's always between those two in Scotland. So yeah, interesting. Going into League One, the League One, as the League One format stands, Luton and Wigan have won two of those each since it started. And in the old version of that league, which is basically, so with Division 2, so there's a number of teams that have won one title. Basically, there's no one that's really standing out. In Division 2, the original, Leicester City have won 6 titles. Manchester City won 6 titles. Sheffield Wednesday won 5. Birmingham, Derby, and Liverpool won 4 each. And then it's Ipswich, Leeds, Middlesbrough, Notts County, and Preston that have won 3 leagues each. So, a few teams in there. Surprisingly, you're looking at the histories. Notts County, they're in the conference now. They were in the playoffs. They just lost out in the playoffs there in the National Conference last season. But to look at them, they've originally won 3 Division 2 titles, which is insane, So I'm guessing that it was back in the 20s or 30s, I believe, that sort of era. So, yeah, there's a lot of teams that have fallen quite a lot, through the years. We go into like League 2, which is the bottom league now, as we know. And the 2 teams that have won the most titles in that league is Chesterfield with 2, and who are also in the National League, and Swindon Town, who finished with 2. So yeah, it's interesting to see what teams have won different things, titles and things like that. A few things going on. You look at the histories. There's been a lot of quite successful teams through the years. Predominantly, you see the obvious names like Manchester United, sticking up on Liverpool. They've been the most dominant teams in English football history, as we know. Um, but you look at even teams like Aston Villa, who are sort of like mid-table Premier League sort of teams now. They've had several titles, several Division One titles, top flight titles, and that's not to be sniffed at. Even though the last one was in 80, 81, they've still got a rich history. And even if you're looking into League Cups and FA Cups, um, Aston Villa's got a good record on there. Now, one of my mates, he'll be loving this because he's Aston Villa if he does watch what I do with this. But yeah, Aston Villa have won some pretty good stuff through the years. They've been quite a useful team. I think talking more about Aston Villa, I think Gerrard I think he's going to do some good stuff at Villa. But in all honesty, I think good stuff for Villa would be how it was back in the day. Them trying to get into the top sort of seven, and then trying to win a League Cup or an FA Cup or something like that. You know what I mean? Or maybe going having a little dabble in the Europa League, that kind of thing, or what used to be the UEFA Cup, that kind of situation for the Villa. Um, but anyway, we're going to go into FA Cup section now. I was having a bit of a going off into one, but in all-time FA Cup wins, Arsenal hold the record with 14. In second, no surprise again, Manchester United with 12. And then you've got Chelsea and Tottenham that have won 8 FA Cups each. Aston Villa pop up again, and they've won 7 FA Cups. Liverpool's won 7 FA Cups. And then you've got Blackburn Rovers, Manchester City, and Newcastle. They've won 6 FA Cups each, which is crazy to think because the last time Newcastle won one was in the 50s, in the late 50s, I believe. They've not won anything since then. And, they've won the Championship, what's now the Championship, and what used to be the old Division 2. But they've not really won anything else of note. They've got to a few finals in the past when they had Alan Shearer in the 90s. They lost 2 finals, losing to Arsenal 2-0 in the 99 final. Sorry, not in the 99 final. They lost to Manchester United in the 99 final 2-0 as Man United went on to win the treble that season, the 98-99 season. And they also lost out to Arsenal 2-0 as well in another final, I believe, a couple of years after that. So, no, it was in '98 even. So season 4. So Newcastle got close, but they kept getting close in the '90s, and they had some great attacking teams, but they just never quite got over the line. But as it says, their record in FA Cup wins is 6 wins, so it's quite notable. And another 3 teams under that, you've got Everton, you've got the Wanderers, which is a team that no longer exists in the Football League, and West Bromwich Albion that all ended up with 5 FA Cup wins. And then the next 3 teams underneath that, Bolton Wanderers, Sheffield United, and Wolves, have all won 4 FA Cups each. So pretty useful teams to look at. Appearances in the final, the top 4 teams, it's no surprise really. Arsenal have had 21 appearances in the final, losing 7 times and winning 14 times. Manchester United have had 20 appearances in the finals, and obviously they've won 12 times and lost 8 times. And then you've got Chelsea, who've had 15 appearances, and they've lost nearly half of those appearances, having only won 8 out of 15 final appearances in the FA Cup. So really, really quite interesting to look at, in all honesty. And if you're looking at appearances in the semi-finals, Manchester United and Arsenal, no surprise, are leading the way for the appearances in the semi-finals of the FA Cup over the whole history of the competition. Manchester United have had 31 appearances in semi-finals. Arsenal have had 30, and then not far behind is Everton with 26, Chelsea with 25 appearances, and Liverpool with 24 in the semi-finals. So a lot of teams getting really close. Usual big boys that you'd expect to be up there. Everton obviously have a great, rich history. Not so much in the recent history, in the last sort of 20 years. It's been, I believe, 27 years since Everton won anything. They won the FA Cup in 1995 with a goal from Paul Rideout against Manchester United, who at that time were a dominant team. That was a bad season. Well, not a bad season. That was a season of nearly for Manchester United after having a couple of seasons of winning the league and the FA Cup back to back. They lost out to Blackburn in the league that year, 94-95, and they also lost out narrowly 1-0, as I said earlier, to Everton. Paul Rideout goal. So that's the last time that they won the FA Cup, Everton. As I said earlier, Manchester United, they need to win the League Cup, the FA Cup, or the Europa League, or if they can get that in this season. I think Manchester United will only be seen as a successful season, and Ten Hag being a good manager, if he can make them finish in the top four, and if he can give them one of those trophies that I've mentioned, or maybe two, push. If he gets two, he'll have done a fantastic job. So we'll see what happens. I'd like to see some changes. I'm not saying I want to see Man United dominate it all. Let's be honest, most people don't really like Manchester United, apart from Manchester United fans, or people that can be a bit more mature about it and realise that teams like Manchester United and Liverpool, they've built a good work ethic in the past and they've achieved great things through good youth systems, through great scouts, and obviously great managers in the past. So we'll see what happens with those teams. As I said, I still think Manchester City is going to win the title for the 22-23 season. I think Tottenham's going to cause a surprise. They're 14-1 at the bookies. I think, and they're third favourites to win it. I think it'll be very, very close. I think Spurs, as long as they don't get injuries, I think they'll capitalise on getting in that second place off Liverpool. I just got a feeling Liverpool's going to wobble a bit, even though that sounds crazy because they got to 3 finals last season. I think every team sort of has a burnout phase after they've had a period of success. And I just think that Liverpool's going to just fall off a tiny bit. I'm not saying they're not going to win a trophy of sorts, whether it be a League Cup or an FA Cup again. But I do think that they're going to fall, and I think they're going to end up in either probably like fourth position, I'm going to say. So we'll see what happens anyway. But we'll look into the Carabao Cup now, as it's called. But it's been called many names in the past: Littlewoods Cup, Worthington Cup, Carling Cup. It's basically the original League Cup. That's the title of it. But we'll just do a little rundown of the teams that have obviously won that the most. As we know, Liverpool won it last season gone, 21-22. So they've now won the League Cup. They are the out-and-out leaders of winning the League Cup, and they've won it 9 times. Manchester City are really close behind them with 8 times. And then you've got Aston Villa again, who have won quite a few trophies. If you look at it from the point of view that Aston Villa have not always been one of the top teams, you know what I mean? But in the past, they've certainly brought some trophies in. They won 5 League Cups. I can remember one of them going back to I believe the 95-96 season, when they absolutely smashed Manchester United when they had Ron Atkinson as manager, and they beat them. I believe it was 3-1, and I also remember them beating, I don't think it was 95-96, no, it's 93-94 where they beat Manchester United. 93-94 season, they beat Manchester United 3-1, and then I remember the 95-96 season, them beating Leeds United 3-0. So if you look on YouTube, you can find these finals. Do you know what I mean? If you look for the League Cup finals, obviously look for FA Cup finals. If you're going back even to sort of like the 70s and the 60s, you can find these finals. It may only be like 5-10 minutes. You may get full matches on there, but there's definitely plenty of good content on YouTube for all these different finals that people have obviously lovingly put up, who obviously love those teams and cherish those teams. So yeah, as I say, Aston Villa, Chelsea have won it 5 times in the League Cup. Liverpool lead the way with 9, having won last season. And then you've got Manchester United, as I said, got 5 as well. You got Forest, Tottenham, who both have 4 League Cup wins each. Most of Forest League Cups came from the Cloughy era when he was in charge from 1975 up until 93, where he's retired. Leicester City have won 3 times, and then there's 4 teams underneath that have won it twice: Arsenal, Birmingham City, Norwich, and Wolves. So Arsenal not been quite so successful in the League Cup as the FA Cup. They are the out and out for the FA Cup with 14 wins, but only 2 in the League Cup. So yeah, some great things to look at there. As in their League Cup final appearances, Liverpool have had 12, so they've only lost 4 of 12. They've won it 8 times. Aston Villa have 9 appearances, and they've won it just over half the times, 5 times. And then obviously Chelsea, Manchester City, Manchester United, they've all had 9 appearances as well, and they've ended up winning it 5 times. So they've lost it 4 times as well as winning it 5. So it's all really interesting stuff. But yeah, you see teams sneaking in there, like in the FA Cup and in the League Cup. As I say, I've mentioned Aston Villa quite a lot, but they're sneaking in there. And as a Forest fan, you don't really want to sort of talk too much about the Midlands teams, but you've got to give credit where credit's due. Forest have won the League Cup 4 times, but Villa are the out-and-out winners for the Midlands. And as I say, you got Leicester City in there with 3. They got a couple with Martin O'Neill back in the late 90s, early 90s. So, yeah, just interesting stuff to look at with that. I've gone through my little facts and figures. That was basically what this episode was about. It's just concentrating on teams, what they've achieved in the past, in the histories, in the main competitions, obviously the league titles, FA Cup, League Cup, Premier League, etc. So we've got all that down.
I'm going to come on again, do a couple more episodes, but this will be it for this one. If you've got any other things that you want me to talk about, let me know in the comments section. There's plenty more things that I can cover. If you want me to cover certain teams and certain reviews of great seasons in the past, of teams that I may not have thought of, I've got all the material, I've got the books, I've got all the information that I need to be able to do that. So if you let me know what you'd like to hear, I can get on with that and I'll make it as interesting as I can do. Have a great weekend, sorry, and all the best. Thank you. Continue to like and subscribe. We want to get to thousands and thousands. We want to get a community going. I'm going to start up a blog, get everybody chatting about their teams in the week. Obviously, help us to get the week through. Let's be honest. We all love the football. We all want to talk about it in depth, and that's why we're here at this time. Have a great time. All the best. This has been Football Heaven 24/7. English Football League review as well, and Premier League review. I'm your host, Jamie Carter. Have a good time. Bye.